Hello and welcome to Fit to Box channel. Please like and subscribe and don't forget to jab that notifications bell for all my latest uploads. Today we have got a Rocky / Creed discussion with the new Creed 2 film that is coming out, and we just wanted, me, Alex and Damien, just wanted to have a little bit of a chat, a bit of a reminisce about the Rocky films that have gone before now, and obviously discuss the upcoming Creed 2 movie. So, Creed 2 pitches Apollo Creed's son against Ivan Drago's son, so revisiting sort of the rivalry of Rocky 4. First thing I want to ask the guys is this a welcome movie, or is this for the Rocky series, or is this a film too far?
I'm quite happy with it personally. I mean, I've heard Sylvester Stallone say that he doesn't think of it as a Rocky film. He thinks of it as a Creed film, as if it's like its own thing.
Yeah.
But if it was a continuation of Rocky, I'd be quite happy with it. I think he brings it up to the 21st century. And
Yeah.
No, I think I'm happy for it to go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Damien?
Yeah, similar. I think it's a hybrid. I think Apollo Creed was one of my favourite characters from the Rocky films, so you can't bring him back because obviously what happened. So it's nice that there's some twist in that. You know, he has this kind of son. So it is a Rocky film, but it's not because I think Sylvester Stallone's realised that with Rocky Balboa he's too old to keep coming back into the ring. So it's a nice angle where he's the trainer now. He's like Mickey was, and he's bringing this other guy through. So yeah.
Good,
well, good storyline.
I'm absolutely made up. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait for it to come out. I think it'll be really good. If it's anything like Creed, it was a really good update on the series. So I just want to go through now, and we'll go through each of the Rocky films that have happened so far, and the things that we liked, the things that we didn't like, and we'll just go through the series. Rocky 1, 1976. That was before you was born.
I think most of them before I was born.
All right, okay, all right, yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't before we were born.
No, it wasn't before we were born. 1976, Rocky, Sylvester Stallone versus Apollo Creed, Carl Weathers. Damien, what did you think of Rocky 1?
It was the setup, wasn't it? It was the Apollo Creed was the champion. A bit of the sort of flamboyant, sass character. I think it was a bit of a model. Well, it was a model on a real fight that Muhammad Ali had. So it was good that you showed Rocky Balboa of being someone that was probably losing as many fights as he was winning. And then suddenly just got this shot at the heavyweight title of the world for this sort of centenary special fight, and he got his chance, and it was good. It was a setup. The film ended the way it obviously did to go on again. Would there be a rematch? But it's not my favourite by some distance. It's sort of somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
But it sets the ground nicely for what's to follow. So,
yeah, I mean, when you look at some of the effects when it comes to like the blood and the swelling, and the fight scenes look pretty rubbish now. Yeah. Dramatic, but in no way realistic in terms of sort of the boxing skill. But also the fight scenes, the ref would have stopped it way before if it had been real. But again, it was more about sort of the entertainment, and as you rightly say, it set the series up. Did he get an Oscar? I think he got an Oscar, didn't he?
I'm not entirely sure.
I think he got an Oscar for something, whether that was for Sylvester Stallone or something.
No.
What about you? It was the first time you saw Rocky?
Yeah, I mean, oh gosh, it was obviously years ago for me, but I haven't seen it for a long time. But from what I recall, I mean, I think it was pretty groundbreaking. You guys tell me at the time there wasn't many boxing films going knocking about at that time, was there really? Especially with that sort of as impactful as Rocky.
Yeah. I think it just captured something that he was able to just carry on and replicate in the other films.
Yeah.
So Rocky 2, 1979. Still not born.
No, not
Still
yet.
not born. 1979. Rocky 2. Rocky Balboa versus Apollo Creed rematch. Again, Damien, what do you think of Rocky 2?
I've watched Rocky 2 more than I've watched all of the Rockies combined. I think there was a period in the mid '80s when it was on every Christmas, every holiday, every the weekend. It was just like, oh, Rocky 2's on, I'll watch it. I could memorise that final fight. I could probably get it now and do it.
Yeah.
And I could memorise every move, every punch, and used to sort of watch the telly and move along to it. It's one of my favourites. It's like a childhood sort of memory.
Right.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And it was all the call him, because Apollo Creed, he was calling him like the chicken when he trying to call him out.
Italian, rather than Italian stallion, it was Italian chicken and
Yeah,
you know, that kind of stuff. And yeah,
he was like, he couldn't put it to bed, could he?
no. I think Creed's say charisma or kudos, whatever it is, he couldn't accept that somebody that like Rocky, who was just a sort of a club fighter, had actually took him the distance and hurt him and give him his best, and he was like, how did this man, you know, do what he did? So he was trying to prove it to himself, his own ego. He had to put one on him, and it didn't turn out that way, did it?
Rocky 2, mate. What did you think?
I mean, it's what I can remember. It's a really easy watch, so I can see why it was a childhood favourite for Damien, because it was. I've watched that one a couple of times myself actually, and it is, you know, like if it is on telly, it's really easy to sit down and go, yeah, go on then.
Just watch it again.
Go on then.
Just watch it again for the 40th time.
Yeah,
no problem.
I did really enjoy that. I think the casting's really good as well in the Rocky films. I think they picked the right people for the films as well.
Good. There's obviously there is a love story in there, the early ones with Adrian and all
the
that.
second one particularly.
And
they get married, don't they, in the second one?
Yeah, it's so there is that sort of running alongside the boxing as well. Rocky 3, 1982. Still not born.
No, not yet. No.
Still not born. Rocky Balboa versus Clubber Lang 1, and then he fights Clubber Lang for a second time. Clubber Lang being Mr. T, who of course was in the A Team, the original A Team. Alex doesn't remember that either. But yeah, fantastic. Mr. T was just the man back then. Of course, he has resurfaced in Snickers adverts, I think, more recently.
Well, that was still some years ago.
So. That was still some years ago. He was a good character when it come to Rocky 3. Damien?
Favourite Rocky film?
Favourite Rocky film? Puts that right out there.
It puts it right out there. I think actually... Mr. T, he was a bodyguard, and that's how he got the role. I think he was a bodyguard for Sylvester Stallone and a few other people, and he just got noticed for his physique and his character and sort of unusual appearance, the big Mohican and the beard and the whole thing.
Oh, wow.
He got sort of cast. He wasn't like someone said cast him. It was kind of just, you interested, and it kind of developed from there.
Yeah,
he fit the role just perfectly. But I just love the fact that Rocky's become the champion, and he thinks he's fighting the best, and so the film starts out. You see him then from the champion and the Eye of the Tiger. He's fighting all the champions from Europe and all these other people that are sort of trying to test him, and they're getting nowhere near him. And he thinks he's the man. And then one day Mickey sits him down and just says, "There was handpicked. There was handpicked, Rock."
I knew there'd be some impressions during this. But...
And he told him straight, and he says that they were good men, they were good fighters, but they weren't killers. And he says this guy would knock him to tomorrow, Rock. And Rocky just realises that, whoa, you know, there's this guy, there's this force that I can't reckon with. And he puts out the challenge, and it all goes wrong. But then it's the fact that it's Apollo Creed, the guy that he beats, is the man that picks him up and says, no, you're way better than this. The man that beat me wasn't the guy that fought him. And he helps him rediscover himself.
Yeah.
And they're running down the beach together and having a hug. Some great moments.
Some great moments, training montage moments in that film, definitely.
But there's so many things about that film. It's why it stands out for me. Is it's the Rocky number one.
He's not. Damien's not mentioned Hulk Hogan. He's in that one.
Yeah, laser. Is it
Thunderlips?
Thunderlips or everything? Yeah, Thunderpants.
It wasn't Thunderpants. Thunderlips.
Thunderlips. So in the flesh, baby.
Yeah, if any film has got Hulk Hogan and Mr. T, it's got a fair chance in the 80s of doing well. Yeah. So, did you see Rocky 3?
Yeah, no, I've seen that. I remember Hulk Hogan absolutely towering over Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
He's huge,
big fella,
No, but Damien told that story really well, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. He's watched that a few times, which is good. Rocky 4, 1985. Are we alive yet?
Are you alive?
Oh, no, not yet. No.
Still not alive.
No,
Still
not
not
yet,
alive.
no.
It's terrible. Rocky 4, Drago, Ivan Drago, who's Dolph Lundgren, versus Apollo Creed, first of all. Then Rocky versus Drago, of course, in Russia, at the end of the film, Rocky basically ending the Cold War single-handedly
yes, he does,
on his own,
yeah.
which was incredible.
It was.
But a great film.
Yes.
Great film. one of my, well, I'll come to my favourite at the end, but yeah, right up there for me, Rocky 4. Just the character of Drago was just a class character, just so well played. I don't think it needed much in the way of acting skills from Dolph Lundgren,
Not really,
but that was fine. It was a bit like a
It's
Terminator type.
a bit of a Terminator character.
Yeah.
Just stand there and smash
The only thing I
things,
didn't like about that is that they had to include the fact that there was like a syringe scene where he was on drugs.
The doping thing.
I would have preferred it if he wasn't.
If it was just all natural.
Yeah, if they just got this beast. But yeah, great film. Rocky 4 for you, Damien?
Second favourite. I think of the Rocky films, excluding the Creeds of Rockies, I think it's the best production. It's the best film. It's the best looking. With the soundtrack, with James Brown, some of the great soundtracks in there. It was one of the first soundtracks that I bought, and I've listened to that many times. Back in the days when cassette. Do you remember cassettes? Cassette players, cassettes.
Some of this is lost on Alex, but at least he's bothered to watch the film.
I have heard of cassette.
Yeah. So best production for me, but yeah, second favourite. It's a great film, but yeah, great.
Rocky 4.
Yeah, this is my favourite actually of the Rocky films. Yeah, no, I've seen this a few times. You mentioned the Terminator. I just love how sort of indestructible he seems.
Yeah.
And obviously it's quite emotional, isn't it, at the beginning where you see Apollo in that exhibition fight with Drago, and then that happens, of course.
Yeah,
it's a really good one.
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah.
Oh, just great.
Lots of t-shirts.
Yeah, brilliant moments. Brilliant moments. Then we come on to 1990, Rocky 5. Are you alive yet?
We're getting there, but not
1990,
Still
not
alive
alive.
in 1990.
I'm sorry, guys.
1990.
I'm really sorry.
I just started work.
I just left school.
This is Tommy Gunn, Tommy Morrison, who obviously has passed away since, but Tommy Gunn versus Union Kane, who was the champion.
Yeah.
And then there was, of course, the street fight between Rocky and Tommy Gunn. So this one was probably, in my opinion, the worst of the Rocky films. Yeah. And I think that comes from the fact that the last fight's in the street, not in the ring. But that's probably because I'm into my boxing so much. I would have liked to have seen that fight in the ring. I think it would have been a better film if it had been in the ring. But yeah, when they were rolling around in the dustbins and whatnot, it lost it for me.
Yes.
So did you actually see Rocky 5?
I haven't seen this one.
You haven't seen Rocky 5? I wouldn't bother.
No,
I wouldn't bother. You're not missing too much.
I've got the DVD down there, but you're not missing that much.
Just watch it once, and then you've seen it.
I'll watch a highlight on YouTube or something, maybe.
Yeah. Damien, what did you think of it?
Yeah, worst by far. I think I can't remember the source of where I heard this for, but it was allegedly Stallone had been interviewed, and it was one of the main reasons why he came back and did Rocky Balboa, because he wasn't happy with the story finishing at Rocky 5. I very much liked the opening sequence of Rocky 5, because it picks up basically in the dressing room after the Drago fight. So there's a bit more of the realism, because Rocky films were obviously all the choreography and everything else, and he'd fall down and get straight back up and carry on fighting. The ref would just stand there and go, "Go on, go for it." And so he didn't follow the rules very strictly. It was a film, but he got into the realism of what the effect was, that if you get hit by someone enough and this hard, the effect that has on the body and on the brain, and that kind of how it affected his life. So that was a great start. But I think Stallone himself said the way he got the character from rags to riches, and then left him in the rags, back in the streets, and like I said, street fighting through the bins, and it was a bad way to end the franchise. So I'm glad he came back for a bit, and then obviously he's really topped it off with the Creed.
It took him a while with Rocky Balboa, which was in 2006. You've got to have been alive then. 16 years later, after Rocky 5, Rocky Balboa, which was Rocky, who was old at this point, wasn't he? He was old, still in good shape, but old, and he fought Mason Dixon, and that's Antonio Tarver.
Yes.
So a lot of these, some big boxers that are in the Rocky series, and I think that's always been good. The fact that there's little cameos. I know you mentioned before. Roberto Duran was in one, wasn't he?
Yeah, in Rocky 2. Actually, in the gym, he's one of Rocky's sparring partners, which was a bit of an unknown thing. But I got this clip and sent it to Charlie. He was like, "No way!"
That had been lost.
Yeah, and
That had been
it's
lost
on him completely.
Yeah.
But it was, Rocky, Roberto Duran was one of his sparring partners.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think Antonio in Rocky Balboa. I think Antonio Tava played a decent part actually.
Yeah, he did. He was all right. I think didn't that role come just after he beat Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, so he was right.
He was right on that crest of the wave of he was the new sort of pound for pound king, and Roy Jones had sort of dominated through the 90s, and the first fight he thought he was hard done by, and I'd probably agree with that. But the second one was no argument. It was a very, very good victory. Yeah,
I mean, people could be critical and say that there's no way that Rocky would have been able to, no matter how much his emotional speech was, that he wouldn't be able to come back after Rocky 5 when basically he was saying that he got really bad brain damage. But it's entertainment at the end of the day. Let's not take it too seriously.
No.
But I'm not surprised with Rocky's defence in the first 4 films as to the fact that he said that he got brain damage, because he literally, from a boxing point of view, his face was his defence.
Yes, blocked with his face.
He blocked a lot with his face,
yeah.
Which is not a tactic that young fighters should be looking to replicate.
Right.
Then we went to Creed 1, 2015. So again, a big gap in between Rocky Balboa and Creed 1. What did you think of Rocky Balboa?
Yeah, no, good film. Yeah, enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I haven't much to say on it really. It's not one that I'd watch.
No,
it's not an easy watch for me.
One thing I did like about it, I think the boxing in it had been updated. The way that they were showing the fights, the realism was higher.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's one thing that I'm really enjoying about the Creed films is just the polish, how they're showing the fights.
Yeah.
The fights are very much more realistic than those early fights in the Rocky 1 and 2 especially, where it was pretty poor when it comes to boxing action. Creed 1 in 2015, we got Adonis, who is Creed's son, Michael B. Jordan versus Tony Bellew, Ricky Conlon. That was his character. So Creed 1.
Yeah, great film. I really enjoyed that actually. Yeah, really good. I know Andre Ward was in that film as well, wasn't he?
Andre Ward played a good
really,
part.
He's one of the sparring partners.
Yeah, really good film actually. I thought the love story he has as well with Bianca was really good, because obviously she's losing her hearing and she's really having to fight her own battle, isn't she, with her music and whatnot. And he's having to sort of step up to his dad in terms of he's making a name for himself and not living his shadow. And no, I think it was a really solid film actually. Really good film.
Yeah. Damien, Creed 1.
Yeah, it's very good. It was as you say, from following off from Rocky Balboa, he thankfully realised that enough was enough of doing the role himself. So it was a nice twist that he was now the trainer and bringing this through. And obviously the story of Creed, it's not his son, is it? It's like a love child, or
it's still his son.
Still his son, but not through the I think it's the story of it was around the sort of the Rocky 2 time of when he was going through that fight, that he'd gone off and done whatever he'd done, and that Adonis was the result of that. But it's a good story, very well acted, and it's set again another franchise up very nicely, and obviously where we're going to get on to next. Yeah,
Creed 2. Yeah. Looking at some of obviously it's out very soon. And this looks like it's going to be obviously Adonis versus Drago's son, and it looks from the clips that have been put out, the little trailers, it looks like there might be 2 fights in there, because the one he's wearing black shorts and then the other he's wearing his red and his white and his blue, like American sort of classic Rocky shorts. So hopefully there's sort of a couple of fights in there, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be great. So let's just move on to favourite Rocky / Creed character. For me, Apollo Creed, every single day. I just think he was a really great character.
He was.
Damien?
Yeah, he was. It was closely based on the sort of Muhammad Ali character, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then Rocky's Chuck Wepner.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Yeah.
I as much as I do like Drago, it is because of Rocky 3. It's Clubber Lang.
Yeah.
I just like that kind of, not quite Joe Fraser or Sonny Liston combination. There's just that kind of something about him. He was a sort of aggressive,
Animalistic, wasn't
yeah, he was, and a bit of a Mike Tyson, bit of a Sonny Liston, Joe Fraser type, just that kind of character. And it was all about, it was nothing about finesse.
Mm-hmm.
It was just either I'm going to smash your head in and you're going to smash my head in. It was one or the other, and that's the way the film went. Favourite character.
Favourite character, Alex?
I think probably sort of, if you're looking at sort of good guys or bad guys, I'd probably say Apollo is definitely. I think he's a great character. I love Muhammad Ali, and obviously he's loosely based on him. So yeah, I do. I really like Apollo, but I really like Drago as well. Actually.
Yeah, great character.
I like you said about not a lot of acting skill required for Drago, but I still think he plays what he has to do well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
In fact, I had a fancy dress party a few months back, and I went as Drago.
Did you?
Yeah.
You got any pictures you can see there's at some point?
Was you wearing like massive shoes?
No. I'm not the smallest Drago impersonator that's ever been, I think. But
Another character that didn't really need much acting skills, but I thought was an excellent character, was Ricky Conlon.
Yeah.
Tony Bellew.
Tony
Bellew playing himself as Ricky Conlon.
Really good.
But I'll tell you what, he played himself superb in that film.
Yeah.
He really did come across like the champion, but sort of the rough side champion that he is. So
I noticed in the I don't know if you've seen it in the sort of behind the scenes footage, Bellew knocking out.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. And he's on the floor and he's like twitching and that.
Whacks him in his hand. Really good.
Least favourite character. We don't like to touch on the least favourite character because this is a positive discussion. But least favourite character. For me, Paulie. I don't know what. Paulie used to annoy me. Yeah,
he's just a bit of a hanger on and just kind of. He just bugged Rocky, didn't he, all the time? He was always moaning and whinging. And
for me, Paulie and that robot.
I was just about to say the robot.
The robot in one of them. It was like, what's going on here with this robot?
Rocky
he was like the Jar Jar Binks of the Rocky series. This robot.
It was his birthday present, wasn't it?
Yeah, rubbish.
Yeah.
Least favourite character, Damien?
Probably is the whatever his name is, Tommy Morrison fellow, Tommy Gunn.
Oh yeah, we've missed out, of course. The Don King.
Yeah, he was
the Duke.
The Duke. Yeah.
Washington.
Duke Washington.
Yeah. I mean, that was a direct. Apart from the hair, that was Don King.
Yeah. Only in America.
Yeah. He did even say that, didn't he? Which was with Don King's sort of nickname. Okay, so favourite fight. So first of all, most entertaining. I've gone for Rocky versus Drago in Rocky 4. I thought that was an entertaining fight. And then the other thing we'll go through is most realistic fight, which I've gone for Adonis versus Ricky Conlon. The latest one I just think was.
Right. Can't argue with that because it is.
Most entertaining fight.
Most entertaining. Rocky versus Thunderlips.
Rocky versus Thunderlips. Oh no!
I think he's onto something.
That was brilliant. That was like
you've let yourself down there. I can't believe you said that.
The body.
Oh no!
Hang in there, kid. You're like throttling him.
No, that's ruined this fight discussion.
Most entertaining.
Probably his first fight with Apollo. I think. Rocky's
I
think that was really set the standard. I thought. Obviously not in realism, but in terms of like
entertaining.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So last we're going to finish off with favourite Rocky / Creed films. Top 3. My top 3: Rocky 4, number 1. Ivan Drago made that film really. Then Creed 1. I think the realism. I really like that update. And then third for me, Rocky 3. As I say, you can't knock a film that's got Mr. T and Hulk Hogan in.
No.
Yeah, that's solid picks. What
do you reckon, Alex?
I'd probably say the first two are the same as yours. Actually, I'd say Rocky 4 and Creed 1.
Yeah.
But I'd probably say Rocky 1. I really enjoy Rocky 1.
Rocky 1 goes for the original.
It's really good.
Yeah. Third place, I would have Rocky 4. Second place, Rocky 2. First place, Rocky 3.
Again, there is, out of all of them, Out of all of them, I think Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 were real sort of high points in the series. And hopefully Creed 1 and Creed 2 can be a similar type thing. So that was nice to just chew the fat and have a bit of a reminisce and talk about films that was out before Alex was even born, making me and Damien feel very old. But there you go. You can watch all of these films now. There's loads of ways you can watch them. So really looking forward to Creed 2. Like to thank the guys for that sort of conversation there. Hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe to Fit to Box channel, and I shall speak to you soon.